Namaste, beautiful people. I hope you are well. I wanted to share this transmission, particularly for those of you that have joined the 21-day sadhana for emotional balance and inner strength. So if you haven't joined, this is still a relevant transmission for you. And please check out the sadhana practice. Sadhana means practice. So check out the practice itself. It's a 21-minute, very short but powerful practice for emotional balance. And within that, it's all about stabilizing our beautiful mind and body, and for inner strength as well. So it's for drawing in those qualities and those characteristics and that energy that's really going to help us to navigate these very challenging times. And that's what I wanted to share this transmission. I wanted to share a little bit of the context around what's going on. And many of you will already know this, or this will be igniting some deep remembrance or knowing within you. And for some of you, this may simply be activating something that you thought, I just can't put my finger on what's going on, but I just know deep down something really powerful is happening. And hopefully this transmission will give you a little bit of that context. So we are absolutely in unprecedented times. And that isn't just because of this global pandemic, the coronavirus situation that we are in. This unprecedented era of time that we are in transcends that. It goes beyond just this current global pandemic. So the global pandemic itself is a symptom of this time. It is a sign and symptom of the bigger things that are at play on this planet, in our solar system, and in the universe. And it is absolutely by no chance or coincidence that you have been born to bear witness to some of the most extraordinary parts of history that we have ever seen on this planet. So much is coming together, so much is shifting, so much is being presented to us as a way of really seeing the truth for ourselves and the depth of the nature of reality. So I'm going to start to break that down a little bit. So what is actually going on? Why is it that this global pandemic is happening? Why is it that people, your neighbors, your friends, your family are all at this time going through such challenging circumstances? On one hand, it's easy to blame or shine the light on the global pandemic and having to self-isolate and not going to work and not being outdoors as much. It's easy to say that for those reasons, we are more stressed, we're more isolated. We are more afraid. We're more afraid of catching coronavirus. But again, these are just symptoms that this time, this phase and this time on planet Earth are bringing up. So coronavirus is a symptom, and all of the things that that's bringing up triggering within us, again, are symptoms. So why are these challenging things happening? Why are we seeing an increase in fires around the world, in natural disasters? How is it that at the same time we are going through, catastrophes in terms of chemical plants blowing up? Over the last 100 years, how many chemical plants have blown up? How many of them have contaminated our water systems and ecosystems? How is it that we're seeing massive fires the size of whole nations ravaging parts of the world, but burning down and killing wildlife in different parts of the world? How is it that we are seeing such incredible shifts in our weather and energy systems? Absolutely climates just shifting themselves so dramatically that whole ecosystems are struggling to keep up with that change. What is going on? So, yes, there is a whole bunch of stuff that the choices that we are making that is encouraging the different functions and the ecosystems and the processes going on in this planet to overwhelm and implode and explode. Okay, absolutely, we are cutting down way too many trees. We are spilling way too many toxins in the environment. And we can see it all on that level. And yes, of course, like the choices that we are making, that absolutely is a part of what's going on. But again, I would see this as the sign and the symptom. It still, to me, doesn't explain at a deeper fundamental level what is actually happening. So I've laid a few things down, and you're saying, okay, well, Tasha, a lot of the things that I, would have thought were the cause of these catastrophes and these global pandemics is down to the human choice, but you were saying that that's not really what it's about. And, on one hand, I'm saying, yeah, there is a deeper rooted reason why these things are happening, and these are all signs and symptoms. And I'm going to get to that right now. So what I see, what I feel, what I've been shown is that we are naturally on this planet, our solar system, our galaxy is naturally going through an ascension process. So in the physical sense, our galaxy, our solar system is moving through a galactic, energetic, cosmic space that is very high energetic intensity. And this happens over cycles and cycles of times. And many indigenous tribes and indigenous peoples over the last 5, 10,000, 20,000 years have prophesied, so many have prophesied, that we are entering into a new phase, into a new cycle. So we see cycles of time. So every 26,000 years or so, or whatever it is, you will know of other cycles that exist in other indigenous lineages that you will know about, that there are these cycles of time. And what's happening is we are going through these different galactic cosmic spaces. And we are going through these different frequencies and vibrations of energies that are having profound effects on our solar system, on our solar system and on our galaxy and on the whole of the universe. Okay? So we are naturally being pummeled with this high intensity energy, which is naturally bringing our planet into a higher state of frequency, higher frequency. So what does that mean? Imagine we are like little ants, and all of this cosmic energy is coming in. And with these tiny little things, we are literally getting pummeled with this high intensity energy. And what is that going to do to us? Well, what that's going to do is it's going to completely shift our whole mind-body system, our whole mind-body complex. And it's going to bring up this old stuff which is vibrating at a lower frequency, a denser frequency. And it's going to bring that up for us to see it, because it is on its way of naturally being transmuted by these energies. So transmutation is this old energy is turning into new energy. So what this means on a physical level is that our fears, our trauma, our anxiety, our stress is bubbling up to the surface because it's literally being pressurized out of us by these energies. And as the collective, as all of us are experiencing this same challenges in the psyche and in the emotional body and the pain body and the energetic bodies, all this old energy is coming up. And as we're all going through it, we all pick up on it as well. We pick up on each other, and it's like amplifying what we're going through. And some of you may even feel that, like, I don't even feel like the stuff that I'm going through is mine. I don't even feel like, I feel like there's something bigger behind what I'm going through. Absolutely, it's a part of my experience, but I feel like it's something bigger. So many of you will resonate with that. And I know that because I speak to you all, several of you on a daily basis about this. So it's like a glass of water. If you shake that water that you've collected from the river, you shake it up in a jar, and you look at it, it's going to look kind of murky and muddy and kind of gray and or brown. And there's a lot of stuff just floating around, like little bits, big bits. It's all floating. It's all very murky. And that's what's going on inside us right now. But when you set that jar down to settle, and you find that stillness, you allow it to settle, you observe what's there, you learn to really just observe what's there. Allow yourself to be grounded and trust that you will see what is there. Trust that you will work through it. Trust that you have the capacity to work through it. And you observe that jar, you will see everything start to settle. And what will be clear is the sediment at the bottom and all of the clear water on top of it. And again, that is what we have the capacity to do. It's just that with all the fear and the trauma and everything coming up from the lives that we've experienced, and the support that we didn't have growing up and all the rest of that kind of thing, and all of the conditioning through the media and the school system and all that stuff is all melted together in our system, and that's caused trauma, and that's caused us to have to make certain choices and behave in a certain way. And this is all our own choice, but back then we didn't realize it. Our mind, our body was just on autopilot. But because that's been happening, we have got caught up in that. The mind has got caught up in just surviving. And we've had to push away all of these really intense feelings, and we've had to suppress the anger and suppress the shame and the guilt, because all of this has been re-traumatizing us. And so as we pushed all of this away, we've forgotten that in doing that, we're sort of damaging our relationship with ourself, with the parts of our mind and body. So our soul energy is present and the parts of our mind and body are present, but that relationship, that dialogue hasn't taken place. We've just been in our mind trying to deal with our mind and body. Yeah, so it's like a part of me is trying to manage another part of me. A part of me that's addicted to eating sugar is performing that behavior because it feels like it has no choice. That's, a very important coping mechanism for me. But then another part of me is trying to manage that behavior. A part of me is using shame and anger, and I'm getting all this criticism and self-talk, like, why am I doing that? Why am I eating this food? I should know better. And then that criticism and self-talk is fueling this part of me that feels like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I feel so bad about myself. I'm just going to go and eat some sugar and I'm going to feel much better. And you see then this cycle is what we are constantly locked in. And how do we get out that cycle? The thing is, we can't really get out of that cycle until we are able to sit with all of those elements of ourselves, all of those parts of ourselves, and give them space and see them and go into the feeling and acknowledge what is going on in our inner world. To do that deep inner work, to do that shadow work, to go into our shadow, it's really, really challenging. Because first and foremost, our mind and our body, which is where we're going into to see, needs to feel stable, needs to feel grounded, needs to feel like confident that I, Natasha, self, soul energy, has got the capacity and can be trusted and is stable enough to go in and do the shadow work. So that's where we start. We begin with the grounding, with the emotional balancing support. Yeah, we begin with that grounding and developing trust and developing willingness, cultivating those energies are going to help soothe and calm our emotions. Because what is actually happening is we're saying, I am trustworthy, I am grounded, I am stable, I have this abundance of energy, and the emotions which are part of the mind and body just go, okay, you've got this, you can do this, and start to soften and start to relax. And I start to come back into the position of being the master of this system. And my mind and my body is like, okay, no, you do have this. You can work through this. So it's this journey of developing this greater sense of trust and groundedness within, so that the parts of our mind and body can go into the shadow and start to loosen and self-soothe and self-regulate. And this is exactly what the sadhana that I've been sharing is all about. And There is so much discomfort associated with healing, holistically healing. And this is what I'm here to do, is to lessen that discomfort and to show you that it doesn't have to be daunting and depressing and hard and difficult. This is what I hear all the time from people, is it's hard and it's difficult. And I get it. I'm not negating that. It absolutely is. But what I'm telling you is that I know a way that it absolutely can be graceful. It can be easier. It can feel joyful and playful. So many of you have already contacted me and told me that you felt so joyful and so light and so wonderful after that practice. And so this is just an indication that, you've got to feed that into your system and be like, see, it wasn't so bad. Like shadow work, it's not so bad. We can do this. Okay, so that's my transmission for today. I really wanted to share something useful for you. I hope that you've received it and it is in some way beneficial. Please, 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 please leave comments. I love to connect with you all. Have a beautiful day. Looking forward to connecting with you soon. Namaste.